All right, so we are continuing with Siman Shin Chof Aleph, the laws of kneading on Shabbos, Lisha.
יהודית מינה,
יהודית מינה,
בת מסעודה מרסל.
מסעודה מרסל, מי זה? מי זאת?
אותי.
רפואה שלמה.
אמן.
Okay, so here's the disclaimer, my friends. Disclaimer is that these halachas are complicated, and I cannot say that I mastered them. I have to still learn a lot more to master them. And therefore, everything I'm saying now is just based on what I learned so far. And hopefully I didn't get it wrong. And if I did, you'll have to forgive me. And that's it. We'll just do the best we can. Okay, so let's first finish the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe just finished saying that the opinion that, and the Alter Rebbe, actually, we're doing Alter Rebbe to Zion first. We're going to finish the Alter Rebbe to Zion. We're towards the end of that. Let's start again from the second opinion. You know what? Starting from the second opinion. Some argue in all of this, ובכולן חייב לסנס מים לבד, או יחד משאר משכן ומי פרס, על פיש לגיבול כלל, כי נסינס מים זהו גיבולוי. So it brings down the opinion of Tosfos that is strict in two ways. First of all, he paskins, like Rebbe, that the gibul, that you're chayiv just for adding the water. Even if you add the water without mixing, you're already chayiv. And second of all, there's no difference between b'nei gibul and not b'nei gibul. You're chayiv equally for either one.
וזה מגשמים רבי?
מה זה משנה?
בן אדם חייב? אם הוציא את זה בחוץ, שמי גשמים ייכנסו בפנים.
לא. הוא לא שם את זה, השם שם את זה.
אז זה בסדר.
כן. כן. ויש חוק הזה.
מחילה, I lost. What are we talking about to put mixed water with what?
With lisha, with things that are lisha.
Okay.
קמח קלי, קמח מצות, עפר שנהיה טיט מזה, מיני דברים.
So if the water would have it in the natural way, I'm allowed to mix it?
That's a machlokas. That depends. If you hold like Rebbe, so the lisha is the adding of the water. So once the water, if you hold like Rebbe, so lisha is the adding of the water. So once the water is added, you can mix because it's already lisha is already done. According to Beis Rabbi Yehuda, the lisha is the water and the mixing. So according to him, you can't mix it, even if somebody else added the water, Hashem added the water, or if you added the water before Shabbos, for that matter, you still can't mix it. Elam kin hagibul hu rach, she'ozin kan lisha klal, v'nesulim v'sofrim, v'tilu sech Shabbos al yedei shinu sheyizbor. Bein b'dvarim she'en b'nei gibul, bein b'dvarim she'en b'nei gibul. Unless you do a gibul rach, in which case there is no lisha, and it's only asam d'Rabbanan, and it's mutar l'tzorech Shabbos with the shinui, whether it is b'nei gibul or not b'nei gibul. Excuse me. ולפיכך בין כל בין שסיסס ליטר מהמשקה בשבס, אפילו בשם דרך חול. אלא אם כן הוא גיבור רך, שאז מותר ליטר בשינוי. דהיינו ליטר נשסיס התחילה ואחר כך החיים את מקום שזהו שינוי. או ילהב מחמשל בהפך או שינוי. כשנעשם שינוי ולגב לפי הרבה ועשך, אז כיוון שהוא גיבור רך. Okay, listen carefully, my friends. According to the first opinion, that Devarim, She'ena b'nei gibul, didn't receive it yet. Why didn't you receive it yet? Let me just send him another email. David didn't receive my invitation yet. Sorry. Invite people. Sometimes I press wrong email address depending on what comes up in the suggestions. Okay. So the point is, again, my friends, listen carefully because this is very important in Halacha L'Maisa. According to the first opinion, that a thing that's not been gibel is only an Isser Rabbanan. So, if you do a shinoi, you can do a shinoi even in the way that you mix it.
The shinoi is necessary according to the first opinion only on the things that is not party. Correct? Or on both.
A shinoi is helpful
For the things that is not bargibel.
for the things that are not bar
On the first
gibel.
opinion.
No. Take it back. A shinoi. Think about it for a long time. Yeah, I think that's not bar gibel. You need a shinoi.
According to the first opinion.
According to this first opinion.
But according to the first opinion.
But one second, but a shinoi will help. According to the first opinion, even by a blila ava, even by blila ava, if you do a shinoi with ma'at, and even though there is no shinoi in the way that you mix it, in the way that you add it, just in the way that you mix it.
The shinoi by the way you add it. So with the according to the mechaber, you have to do the shinoi by adding the water into the solid.
That's true, actually.
Shinoi.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Correct?
Yeah, I take it back. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So what it doesn't say anything about shinoi by the mixing, it does say about the adding.
Correct.
Okay. So according to the first opinion, the things that bar gibel, any shinoi necessary needed, or because bar gibel you can do it, you're allowed to do it.
No, according to his opinion, a shinoi won't help if it's a bar gibel.
So you're not allowed to do it. So they both agree, first opinion and second opinion, on saying that the machlok is only on the things that is not bar gibel, basically.
Yeah.
So on bar gibel, they both saying that you're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Not even the me'at or the shinoi.
Yeah. If it's blila ava. If it's blila ava.
And the second opinion is they're not allowed even blila ava, I understood. But they
Correct.
allowed blila ava.
Correct. Second opinion does not never allows blila ava.
Okay.
Unless you do it before Shabbos.
And so the first opinion is going to be you're going to need to blila ava, you're going to need to do the shinoi or le'at. Or me'at.
You could do a shinoi ma'at
To make a blila ava,
to make a blila ava, or you could do a shinoi in the way you mix it, either one.
when it comes to blila ava.
Yeah.
But blila daka,
Blila raka only in the way that you add it. You don't have to mix it with the shinoi.
so there is still shinoi necessary. Blila daka.
Yeah.
On things that is bar gibel.
Yeah. What?
We're talking about right now on things that is bar gibel. We straight up the things that's not bar gibel. But according to the first opinion, I'm asking, on things that is bar gibel. Okay? Do you need
There's no way you can do Belila Ava if it's Bar Gibel. That's an Issa Deraisa.
even no bishino, according to the first opinion? No
No.
me'at, no bishino, the mixing.
No.
So you just told me yes. You just
No.
So they're going to be, even to the first opinion, they're going to not only blila daka.
If it's Bar Gibel, yeah. If it's Bar Gibel, it has to be Belila Raka and mix it with the Shinoi.
So blila ava, there is no opinion that's allowed to do it on things that is bar gibel.
Correct.
Not the first and not the second,
Correct.
not the Shina, not the nothing.
Correct. The second opinion holds you can't do a Blila Ava even by not bar gibel.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bar gibel.
Correct. That's correct. Although, yes, pratim baze. What I just said is the simple halacha. But yesh pratim baze, yesh deot. I mentioned yesterday that the Chazon Ish holds that something that is fully cooked does not have the issur of lisha.
Something that's fully cooked, it has to be something that's going to be bar gibel. You know, if they get the definition of Raul Achila, it's going to be things that is bar gibel.
I don't know. Why do you say that? Well, what does Raul Achila have to do with bar gibel? Bar gibel means that if you mix it, it becomes a gush echad. I don't know. Something, I don't know.
There's no maflaka between things that edible and things that not edible.
No. It's not about edible. It's about cooked. It's about cooked. The fact that it's edible is not going to help it because we see later on in Machaber, we didn't learn it yesterday, we'll see it today, that gibel applies even to like certain vegetables. If you cut them very small and then when you add liquid, it sticks them together, that is considered gibel, even though they're edible. So the Chazon Ish's chiddush is not about the fact that it's edible, it's the fact that it's cooked. So he holds that if it's cooked, it's considered like a derech achila. It's the way you exactly tikkun ma'achal. That's what we said yesterday. And the Mishnah Berurah adds maybe you could only do right before you eat. Maybe right before you eat, so it's like the way of eating. You know what I'm saying? So those are the.
But this was only the opinion of the Chazon Ish.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that the other opponent and other opponents that agree with it.
No, it's not clear at all. It's a big chiddush. It's a big chiddush.
Any other podcast like any?
But Forkash says that it's not clear.
The Chazon Ish was from the Dirshu.
Chazon Ish is brought on the Dirshu. The Forkash brings him down. Not so happy with him. Yesh mi shemekel, ulemaisa nir lahater mokum hatzorach, uv'tnai she'arbe b'mesinus leitru b'koyach rei b'ha'aras. So he's mater b'mokum hatzorach with a shinui, to allow it, but with a shinui, meaning to say to mix it slowly. It should be. All right. So we continue and we say, I'm still reading the Alter Rebbe, where he says, "Ulefikach," based on the second opinion, Bein Koli, Bein Shasisa, Asul Dir Mamashka Mashavas Afilu B'Shem Derech Ochel, Adam Kenu Gibor Rach Shas Metalitim B'Shinoi, Dahanu Lita Nashasisa Tchilo Hakach Chometz Mokus Der Shinoi, Oy Lehepech. No, on the second opinion. According to the second opinion, it's only mutter to do a gibor rach, whether it's kali, whether shesisa, makes no difference, because there is no difference between bar gibel or not, and therefore you can only do it by gibel rach, and only then when you do a shinoi in terms of the order. And like he points out from the Tzemach Tzedek, that if you're not sure, you put the solid, then the liquid. Al gibel av, but a thick mixture, also b'chol inyan mishum losh. It's forbidden in any case because of losh. unless you put the liquid from before Shabbos. Then you're allowed to mix it on Shabbos. Ma'at. Small amounts at a time. Even if it was out before Shabbos, stirring the mixture is a rabbinic violation. One may only do so if he deviates from his ordinary practice. For example, make small amounts of the mixture at a time and mix it with his hands. Okay, this is important, my friends. One second. I just want to explain. This is important. Gibel Av, the second opinion says, it's hard to say strict opinion because this opinion also has a leniency. I want to explain. This opinion says that as soon as you put in the mixture, the water, or the liquid, whatever, it's considered already lisha. So therefore, he says that a shinui in the way you mix it afterwards doesn't help you because you already put it in. So exactly. So and there's no difference between blila ava and blila raka. So therefore, it makes no difference if it's blila ava. Excuse me. It makes no difference if it's bar gibel. No. It makes no difference if it's bar gibel or not. Yeah. A lot of terms here. We have to get it all clear. It makes no difference if it's bar gibel or not. So therefore, there is no way to do a blila ava because as soon as you put it in, it's already the avera. So what are you going to mix it in a funny way? It's too late. However, there's a kula according to this opinion. Listen to the kula. According to this opinion, that the isser is the putting it in. So if you put it in before Shabbos, you're allowed to mix it on Shabbos because it's already been put in. Now, b'chozot alter baz in parentheses ma'at. You still have to do it with a shinui because just like the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, who says that there's an isser of lisha throughout, both by adding and by mixing. So to Rebbe, who says that there's an isser of lisha when you add it, isser deraisa, but when you continue to mix it, there's also an isser derabanan. It's still asr derabanan. So therefore, he's still going to say you have to mix it with the shinui. But as long as you put in the water before Shabbos, even if you didn't mix it before Shabbos, you're allowed to mix it on Shabbos to get it, better mixed.
So
yes.
Let me see if I get it. On the first opinion, basically, it's a difference between bar gibel and no bar gibel because it allowed blila kasha or blila raka on both. The shin, even blila ava is allowed to do it according to the first opinion.
Yeah.
So basically, it's
or other shinuyim, by the way.
Yeah.
Matmat is one example of a shinui. You can do other shinuyim that we didn't mention yet in the way you mix it.
So the first opinion is basically it's between bar gibel and no bar gibel. The difference, and the second opinion basically between blila daka and blila ava. Because they don't define between bar gibel and no bar gibel. There's no, it's the same thing. You don't think you're allowed to do it blila ava or blila daka. So blila ava you're going to be allowed only if you made it before Erev Shabbos. And blila daka you have to do it b'me'at basically, according to the second opinion.
Blila.
Daka.
Well, you could do many shinuyim. You could do other shinuyim.
I said b'shino.
The shinui doesn't have to be ma'at. You could mix it. You could put it in the other order. That's enough. Yeah. Yeah. And the Mishnah Berurah says something which is a chiddush. And it's not clear in the Alter Rebbe at all. But our Forkash brings it down, so I guess it's clear from the Achronim. So this Alter Rebbe never finished writing the Simon. It's not a proof. But the point is, Mishnah Berurah says that in addition, even according to the first opinion, when you make the blila raka, besides doing the shinoi of how you mix it, the order, you should also do a shinoi of how you mix it. Not just how you add the water, do it the reverse, but also how you mix it.
You don't mix it like that, you just mix it like this.
Oh, so there's different ways of doing shinoi.
Would you allow to enjoy from assumptions like this melacha risha?
No. If it's a malacha l'lisha deraisa, you can't benefit from it. If it's a machlokes, then b'diavad, you could maybe rely on the lenient opinion. I mean, there's many opinions.
Rabbi, if you all the time you mix in this way, so you do the shinui this way?
Mm-hmm. It's not what you do. It's what most people do.
Yeah, like this, right?
If it has to be shinui from the normal way.
Normal way.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the backward? I think only back and forth.
I don't know if backwards is enough for shinui. I don't know.
It's the same thing. This way, the regular way.
How do lefties do it?
Oh.
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Righties do it clockwise.
Clockwise.
Lefties probably do it counterclockwise.
I don't know.
You just
Who's a lefty? Who's a lefty? Any lefties here? No.
You just
No.
remind me.
Yossi, David, Daniel. Any lefties here?
Rabbi, you just remind me about the left.
Yeah.
Back then, if the Kohen was lefty, they put him for the right hand if the Mashiach is coming.
They put him for the right hand.
I mean, to teach him only to write on right hand. If some Kohen was left hand, so they will teach him to do the right hand, the avodah. Because Kohen left hand pasul.
A Kohen who does the avodah with the left hand is possible.
That's why they do that. Teach him how to do.
David is a lefty. How do you stir something when you stir it? You stir it clockwise or counterclockwise? Righties.
Yeah.
But lefties?
Yeah, just like that. All right.
As a righty.
No, now you do opposite.
No, I do
Yeah,
clockwise.
Clockwise. And he is the lefty, they do
I don't think it's a
opposite.
shinui.
He does as a righty, he does.
I don't do this. I do this.
He's
You do
not
this
sure.
way?
Yes.
Okay. If we're sitting around here, we're not even sure how we do it. It's obviously not a shinoi.
It's related to what Kohen.
Okay.
Shin Chav Daled actually mentions a different sort of shinui. There it mentions the shinui of doing shesi ve'erev. You need to say instead of mixing it like this, you mix it like this. But you should either only go like this and then go to the center and go like that. You can't go like this and then go to the side and go like that. You have to go back and forth and then in the center go to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Or you could go like this, take it out and go to the other side and go like that. Out. It's an exercise. But he also mentions, by the way, another way. First of all, one way is to just mix it like this.
It's the regular way.
In the keli itself. And this is all, by the way, if it's a shinui. This only helps if it's a shinui. If the normal way to mix this thing is inside a keli, then it doesn't help. Another way he mentions is like this. One to the other.
Oh.
That's another shinui. And Rabbi Farker says an interesting chiddush that once it's mixed in with a shinui, you can then mix it without a shinui if it makes you feel good. Exactly. By the way, when we say there's no lisha after lisha, this is important also in terms of what he said before, what he said just now. Just said now that if you added water before Shabbos, it's okay to mix it. So because there's no lisha after lisha, what does it mean, lisha, first time around? The Shulchan says that the liquid has penetrated all of the pieces of the solid. Not like sometimes you dump the liquid on the flour. You're making challah, right? Or your wife's making challah or cake, whatever it is. And you have the batter and you dump the liquid and it just like sits there on the side. You know what I mean? It's not bothering anybody, not disturbing anybody. It's like there's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like it develops like a little barrier don't know what that's called. There's something called a meniscus, on the top of the. We discussed it when we were learning brachas about Kiddush. But it doesn't mix. It's like a little, what I'm saying? It's like a. Exactly. So Rav Forgash points out that's not considered lisha. If that's what happens, you can't mix it on Shabbos. The whole point is if it got absorbed, but it's not so well mixed in. It did get absorbed, every single part of it, but it's not so well mixed. You can mix it further. But if it didn't get absorbed, then it's not lisha.
Mix further without a shinui.
Exactly. Once it got mixed in with a shinui, then you can mix it in without a shinui.
That's how they do mix it. When you make a cake, it says moisten everything first, and then you stir it for 50 times or whatever.
What do you mean? What do you mean by moisten everything
The
first?
first time you dump in the brownie mix,
Yeah.
and the eggs, whatever, and it says stir enough that everything is moistened, and then aerate.
I see.
In a mixer, it would be slow mix,
Slow and then fast.
and then fast, to knead it or
I
whatever.
see. If you do too fast in the beginning, it's going to have pieces.
It doesn't all get.
All the clumps don't get unclumped. I hear. Okay.
Same as if you were doing it by hand.
Right.
If you were going to mix something by hand, you get it where you mush it all.
Right.
And then you knead.
Right.
Like
So
you bake it with flour.
yes. So far we learned a lot of different shinuyim. By the way, we learned shinui ma'at, which we said before works for blila ava according to the first opinion. So how much more so it works for blila raka according to the second opinion, according to both opinions. Actually, no, according to the first opinion. According to the first opinion. Second opinion doesn't need a second shinui. Because the second opinion says the main thing is the mixing, is the minute you add them one to the other. But in any case, we have the shinui of ma'at, we have the shinui of doing it slowly instead of with koyach. That was the shinui the Machaber mentioned. V'lo yitroif. Where was it? V'lo la'arvei bekach means bekoyach, untes, bekoyach. There's a shinui the Machaber mentions, which is not to do it bekoyach, not to do it quickly. But the Machaber, the Ramah favors the shinuyim of doing it either with an etzba. By the way, we never mentioned this. The Ramah mentions it to do it with a finger instead of with a spoon. Do with two. Anything that's a shinui. If a shinui is one finger, it has to be one. If a shinui is the whole hand. In other words, when it comes to challah, for example, that's normal to do the whole to use hands. So that's not going to be a shinui. Maybe a finger is a shinui. I mean, you can't make challah Shabbos anyway. I'm saying you can't make. I'm just saying, for example, anything like that. Anything you use the hands for, hands are not going to be a shinui, but a finger might be. But anything you usually don't use the hands for, then the hands could be a shinui.
So you can do with the stick, and going back and forth.
Oh no.
This is definitely no.
No. There's no way you can make challah. There's no way you can make challah. We paskin that a blila ava is also, there's no way you can make a blila ava, according to the second opinion, which is the main opinion in halach. And even the first opinion, takshiv, even the first opinion that allows you to make a blila ava is only not a bar gibel. It's only because it's not a thing that sticks together well. When you make challah, I mean, besides the fact that making challah has, what are you going to do with challah? You can't bake it, Shabbos. It's besides that. It's a regular. It's a blila. It's a bar gibel. It's mixing. It's a regular thing. So that's nobody says you can do that, even with all the shinuim in the world. Nobody says you can do that. Even the opinion that allows you to make a belila ava with the shinui, belila ava pirsho davar ab. That's only if it's something that doesn't stick together well. It doesn't stick together. But if you make regular dough, that sticks together, obviously, well, there's no way you could do it, even with the shino.
Okay, so this is
And there, there's no way. Okay. You have mincha quarter two? 40.
45 is Asher.
And then you have a shear,
Arvit.
you do mine right away.
I speak for maybe 3 to 4.
And then mine. Oh, you have to.
Yeah, right after.
Okay, good to know.
Maybe we adapt it.
Okay. Av gibel av also b'chol inyan. Okay, we said that already.
Just to make on the first opinion, they're not allowed to do on Bar Gable Bila Kasha, correct? Or they do the Benat.
According to the first opinion, Olpam,
You're allowed to do Bila Kasha Beshinoi, Benat,
im ze lo bar gibel.
and then Bar Gable, no?
Gibel is together.
Unless maybe if it's edible, maybe.
Gibel is together.
Bar Gable or not Bar Gable?
That's so that's a question, and the Mishnah Berurah says because it's edible,
Gibel is
it's
together.
edible. It's a question. It's a question. It seems to be that it is bar gibel, but it's mutter because it's edible.
Then put the סוגריים, אלא אם כן נגבל מעט מעט כמו שיתבהר בקיהו.
Where are you in the first opinion or the second? אפילו אם הגיעו לו אב הקושר ונר הקלש מותר כיוון שמגל בשינוי. אני לא עושה את זה לגבי כמוך, כל יהב, יש לי לגבי כמוך. שנגל ישחי, אני לא לגל, זה כל ימד, זה שינוי דרך.
So when the אלא כן מגבל, it means that it refers to בלי לקשה.
אפילו אם הגיעו לו אב הקושר נר הקלש, מותר כיוון שמגל בשינוי.
אלא כן מגבל מעט מעט.
Yeah.
So it refers to the bar gibel or no bar gibel. So the killer, since it was only in the end that is bar gibel.
So yeah, but you have to say that that's different because it's edible. It's a question because really bar gibel it shouldn't be mutter.
But from here I know if the first opinion holding that killer was bar gibel, so they're allowing it to be like ava but not match.
So that's a question because really it should be us if it's bar gibel because it's a lacha deraisa. The Mishnah Berurah asked this, and he says that it's mutter because kali is edible, and that's chiddush chaznish that something that's edible doesn't have
So it's
lisha.
going to be only only specific to keli or other things.
So that's what it seems. That's what it seems, or maybe other edible things. If that's the pshat, it's not clear.
Gibel is together.
Ken, the gabel is
מתעסק ביחד, הכל.
Ken.
And the opposite, what's the opposite?
I don't know. All right. Can't talk right now. Okay, we continue and we say, so let me just finish the Alter Rebbe, even though he's referring to Seif Tezvav, which we didn't learn yet, but it's just one more line because then it's missing. So I'll just read it and then we'll go to the Seif Tezvav and the Machaber. Bein bekaf, v'lit l'sechet dvash, v'vash litu pekoach elam arvei ma'at ma'at. I'm just finishing the Alter Rebbe. According to the first opinion, when mustard was mixed on Friday, liquids may be mixed with it on Shabbos, using either one's hand or a spoon, and honey may be added to it, provided one does not stir the mixture forcefully, but rather mixes it a small amount at a time. Okay, so again, according to the first opinion, you can even make a belila kasha. Basically, we're talking about like mustard that is crushed. So it's when you're adding liquid to it, it becomes like all sticks together. Nevertheless, you could add liquid on Shabbos as long as you do it with the shinui, which he says here is either do it with your hands or don't stir it forcefully. That means do it slowly, a little bit at a time. Like we had the shinui in the beginning of doing a little bit at a time. Now, portions of the text are missing. That's it. The Alter Rebbe cuts out at this point, doesn't continue. But first of all, instead of telling you first of all, let's actually read the Mechaber and the Ramah, and we'll see that that first of all, the Ramah argues and says that it's not enough to do a shinui of a small amount. You have to actually mix it with the shinui, like we said, either with your hand or with a keli, whatever. And also, the second opinion that the Mechaber himself brings is that it's never mutter to do a belila ava unless you added the liquid before Shabbos.
If we do little amount and another little after we can put it together?
That's an interesting question.
Yes.
If you do a small amount, based on the shinui that Alter Rebbe says here, ma'at, can you then mix it together? Do a little ma'at here, little ma'at here, little ma'at here, put it all together.
Regarding which mix, the challah and the honey?
Yeah, let's say. Or going back to the kamach koli that we had in the beginning. Ma'at, we said you could do. What if you do ma'at, then you mix it all? I mean, you already did a shinui, so why not? Just like we said before. If you mix it with the shinui, shasi, erev, right, or your fingers, or keli to keli. So once it's mixed, you can mix further without a shinui, we said. So maybe the same thing. You already mixed it with the shinui. As lamalo.
Let me ask, why a person wants to do lisha if he's not going to something he's going to eat?
If it's not something he's going to eat, he is going to eat it. Of course he's going to eat it. What's the question?
Be something that we
Yeah.
allow to get income after.
Yeah, I think so. I think this whole thing is a heter to be able. Why the Chachamim giving you these heterim b'chlal? I mean, what do you need a heter for? Just don't do it. Elevas, they knew.
You're allowed to cheat and do more from what you actually need.
No, it's not more than you actually needed. Who said more? I didn't say more. Who said more than you need? You need enough for the whole table. You have 50, not 50, you have 20 guests. So that's not mat, that's a big amount. But you want to serve it to them all together. You don't want to serve each one a little amount. So you make it mat, then you mix it together. That's his question. Not that you're making for another time. It's your guess. You have guests. What do you mean? What's the matter saying?
Put all in one big bowl and give my eyes to give all in big one.
Look at that. Look at that. Who knows when you made it? You could have made it yesterday. I don't know. The net, I don't know.
It's very tricky question. All this, you cannot put it in the stove, in the oven to cook it. So just we learn in the halakha, right? Only, right?
See, one answer that the Mishnah Berurah brings, the Bir Halacha, is that if you're doing it ma'at and then you're eating it, so that makes it into tzarech achila. It's like you do a small amount, then you eat it. That's tzarech achila. So according to that, it's not just that you make it ma'at. It's that you make it and then you eat it right away. So according to that, you couldn't mix it with little like make little portions and mix it. You have to make it and eat it. But that's one of his answers. So I'm not sure.
I have that question. Not if you the dough we're talking about. So how do you?
It's not dough.
So
We're talking about something that's not bar gibel, doesn't mix in the regular way. Like, for example, right now, we're going to talk about chardal. מה זה חרדל? זה mustard seeds. זה לא ממש כמו קמח that's going to mamish become one. It's going to mix and it's going to stick together, but it's not mamish going to become one.
and you can eat it live without cooking?
Yeah, exactly.
You can eat it without cooking?
I think so. Yeah, don't cook it on Shabbos. Don't cook it, no.
I know, that's what the question.
No.
Is it nothing to cook here?
Nothing to cook here. No cooking. No cooking. Okay. Let's learn Tezvav in the Rama, in the Mechaber Rama. Chardal shaloshe me'erev Shabbos. If you needed mustard from before Shabbos, lemochar.
This can be brown from grain also. It doesn't have to be all grain.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Give me a second, because the verse says something here about that. Just give me a second. Yeah, I don't think it's complete mustard seeds. I think it's seeds that are already chopped, up. And that's why, I'm sorry?
Are they ground or just?
Oh, so here's the thing.
So what, you mushing them with on moist or with actual liquid?
So here's the thing. The Prima Godim says, because one second, let me just finish the sentence. Again, the next day you could mix it, hein biyad, hein bekeli, whether with your hand or with a keli. You can add honey. It says bekach, but it should say bekoyach. It says, you can't mix it with koyach. You have to mix it a little bit at a time. Like gently, in other words, gently.
They're talking about the kemach here, right?
No.
No.
Chardal.
Okay. Because they say kemach.
Efo. No.
The Mishnah Berurah.
That's about kemach matzot. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Okay, listen carefully. Mishnah Berurah is wondering. I mean, this opinion holds like Rabbi Yehuda. First opinion holds like Rabbi Yehuda, who says that lisha is a combination of two acts, adding the liquid and the solid and mixing it. You're not have till you do both. So we understand that you're doing a shinui by mixing it gently instead of with koyach. But what about the fact that you're adding the liquid to it? You're adding the liquid to it. I mean, that's part of the malacha. What's that to do with it on Shabbos? I mean, you're doing part of a malacha, and you're not even doing it with shinui. What's the heter?
What we said before, but already like Elisha and Elisha.
Oh, so there's two opinions here. Prima Godim says that we're talking about the fact that you mixed it in with its own juices. When you chopped up the mustard seeds, so there was juice in the mustard seed. So it already got connected. When it says Shaloshay Me'erev Shabbos, it means it already got connected through the juices of the mustard seed.
To make any difference with its own juice or with
Own
the
juice.
liquid that you add.
Own juice.
Yeah, but it's gonna make, and if you let's say you wash it Erev Shabbos with water.
Oh, then it's even better. Then even the second opinion is matter. His point is that even though you didn't add anything else, you just added it just had its own liquids. Nevertheless, you're allowed to add to it.
Liquid that wasn't there before.
Exactly.
Based on what? Because we're not gonna say that the liquid it's one thing.
So
The liquid
that's
come from it and
right. That's a question.
one entity.
That's a question that the Mishnah Berurah has. The Mishnah Berurah says a doichik gadol. It's a big doichik to say that, because normally when you learn pshat in lisha, you understand that it's talking about taking something else, some other liquid, and mixing it into the solid, and that's what causes lisha. When you mix it in with the liquid that it has in it already, I mean that's just part of what it is. You don't think of that as malacha of lisha. The truth is that's a separate machlokes, because the Bach says that it could be lisha. I mean, here we're talking about when you did it before Shabbos, but the equivalent of this conversation, if we move over this conversation to Shabbos itself, what about mixing something with its own liquid? Like, let's say you have an avocado and you mash it, which is a separate question of trina, right? So whatever.
But then before Shabbos, like this one.
No, I'm talking about on Shabbos.
On Shabbos?
On Shabbos. If you mash it and then you mix it so that there's now pieces, if the whole thing is mush, just mush, so there's no lisha. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just lisha. It's just mush. The thing is, if you have pieces and it's sticking together with the liquid of the avocado itself. The same thing with the banana. The same question. So some say that's not lisha, because it's the thing itself. It was one piece. Now it's different pieces all held together. That's not lisha.
Let me ask you. Let's say you have egg salad. Before Shabbos, you have.
One second. Before you ask that question, I just want to go back. As far as trina is concerned, let's just say that you did it with the shinui, because you could do trina with the back of a spoon, right? We said that. You could do trina with the shinui gadol, like the back of a spoon. So I'm just saying, let's say you take care of the trina aspect by doing it with the back of a spoon, but is it lisha by the fact that you now have pieces that are being held together by the liquid of that thing? So most achronim say it's no problem. And that's the way the Mishnah Berurah seems to be saying. In other words, the discussion here is that you did it before Shabbos. The Mishnah Berurah says that doesn't help you for lisha, because that's not lisha, right? But based on the Pri Megadim, we see he holds that is already considered lisha. So conversely, to do that on Shabbos, according to that opinion, would be problematic. Yes.
Egg salad, crushed egg salad, without any other ingredients.
Yeah.
Shabbos, you take it and you mix it with tuna to eat.
Yeah.
Before you have a tuna salad, put it on the plate, mix it to be able to eat with it. You're allowed to.
What do you say, class?
It's not going to be a liquid texture. But the question if it's really, if we consider a result, it's just the tuna always will remain on the outside of the egg. So it become like one.
Egg salad is, there's lisha on egg salad, isn't there?
Just
Why
one
not?
egg,
Is
crash
there lisha on egg salad?
Why not?
That's what I'm saying. So if you specifically mix the tchina with the eggs, so
So basically, you're saying you're not allowed to make egg salad on Shabbos. So you're
I
saying.
don't know. Maybe there's a way to do it. It sounds like
Asking what? Does she make egg salad on Shabbos?
is
I don't make egg salad.
Your wife? Is your wife?
Right. That was the bite.
yeah, but you cannot crash
That's
it.
not
on
because of
Shabbos,
this.
You have to crash it before.
You don't have to crush it before b'chlal. That's not a shayla b'chlal.
The egg,
There is no trina. There is no trina by egg. It's not kedula the karka.
you're allowed to use some kind.
The what?
You ground it and put the eggs into the egg salad, or just with a fork in them.
It's a grinder? How do you use a grinder for an egg?
It's a crusher like a
Cheese.
Like a cheese grater.
I have a grater for eggs.
We said we don't know how to do that with the cheese.
Fine holes you can.
We said we don't know how to do that with the cheese.
Okay, so don't do it with the grater. Uvdin the choil. Uvdin the choil. Don't use the grater. Use a spoon. Use a fork.
Question is, it will be considered that it actually doesn't penetrate to the eggs.
Makes a mush.
But it mixed.
Is it what's the you're not some
Liquid and solid. So it's like
And that's what we're trying to figure out. I want some input.
And making dough, kneading.
It's not making dough, so it's forbidden.
Yes.
That's it. So all the Jews who make egg salad are in big trouble.
With the tahini and the
Or mayonnaise.
Not just tahini, mayonnaise, anything. Oil,
Mayonnaise is okay.
anything that mixes it
Mayo's
together.
okay. What's the difference?
Oh,
Why is mayo okay? What's the
What's
difference?
mayonnaise?
If it makes it stick together, what's the difference?
it's not liquid.
Mayo is not liquid? What does that mean?
It's not
Thicker,
liquid.
you're saying.
What's the difference does it make?
It's thick. It's thick.
What difference does it make?
Make a difference.
If it makes it stick together, what difference does it make? If it makes it stick together, does it make it stick together?
Yeah. Okay.
So what difference does it make?
So like dough kneading, yeah.
It's food. It's food. You know.
It's food? Ain't Lisha Boichlin?
You
No?
want it? I don't.
What's
I
the
don't know. What are we learning
what's
about?
really catching on? What is
I
the
went there.
doing it skewed Arab and putting one before the other? Where does those two things help?
Okay, so they help. First of all, according to the opinion that says that the malacha is both by the adding and by the mixing, which was a basic Rabbi Yehuda, otherwise known as the first opinion that we've been learning so far. So you can make even a blila ava if it's a not bar gibel, as long as you make a shinui in the way you mix it. Which would be, for example, either do it in small amounts, or do it with your finger, or do it crisscross, or do it from keli to keli. All these shinuim that we learned about. One second, let's one second. That's one opinion. Another opinion says that there's no way to do a bli lava, but a bli raka, you should still do this shinui. Bli raka, even bli raka, besides doing the way you shinui in the way you mix it, also in the way you add it, different order, also mix it with the shinui.
And also we learn about if we do it b'shinui at the beginning, then we can continue regular, right?
One second. Which one we hold? Like we actually didn't learn that yet. But Lamaisa, it seems like the main halacha is like the first opinion, but it's better to be machmir like the second opinion. Main halacha, better to be machmir. But
the second opinion is lenient.
No, second opinion does not allow you to do a blila ava on Shabbos ever.
You said the only thing, the first opinion only holds a non-bar gibel that you're allowed to do a shina.
And the second opinion says even non-bar gibel, a shina won't help. You can never do a blila ava.
On the second, but on the first, they allowed you to do a blila.
I'm talking about the second opinion. You asked me, what's the halacha? I'm saying the main halacha is like the first opinion, but you were supposed to be machmir like the second opinion, and therefore never make a blila ava, even with the shina.
Regarding the exile, it's just going to be tikkun ochli, so it shouldn't be a problem. Specifically, especially if you want to cut the tikkun mala.
Okay, so first of all, we have to clarify that according to the second opinion, there is no heter to make an egg salad.
Because you're making
Because it's a bli lava. That's a bli lava. Maybe it's a bar gibel, maybe not. I don't know.
Why is it not bar gibel?
I don't know if it's considered bar gibel. Does it really become one? I mean, you could still see the pieces of egg. It's not like a dough where
So it doesn't.
let's say it's not a bar
100% does
gibel.
become one.
Let's say it's not a bar gibel. I don't think it's a bar gibel.
How How would it be bar gibel? Bar gibel means that it transforms into one thing.
Right. I don't think it's a bargibel. I don't think so.
According to the first opinion,
But
not bar gibel,
according to the second opinion, it makes no difference.
you can make a blila ava with the shinoi.
According to the first opinion, you can make a blilav with the shinoi.
Make a blila ava with the shinoi.
Make Ardin, you can make a blilav
So
with the
you
shinoi.
don't use a what? Just do it with a shinoi.
With the shinoi, you mix it with your hands,
You don't make him up to the spoon.
or you mix it with a crisscross with a spoon instead of with a mixed stirring motion.
Usually you're doing it in the bowl, now you're doing it on a plate.
Lo choshev.
So it's an issur daraisa to make eggs out the normal way on Shabbos.
Oh, wow. That was heavy. That was heavy.
This was a question.
That was heavy.
What to make it?
So
I-
there is another svara that Ronnie just mentioned, which is based on the Mishnah Berurah and the Chazon Ish, that something that is cooked does not have the geder of lisha bechlal.
Chazon Ish.
It's called exactly. It's called tikkun oichlin. According to that, yesh makom. I'm not saying it's mutar gomer, but yesh makom la'atir, to make it without any shinui, because it's not called lisha. It's called tikkun oichlin.
That's what Chazon Ish says. It's just it's fixing the food to be eaten.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his words.
Before, why couldn't you eat before? Meaning it's making the food what you want out of what you have.
It's not that you couldn't eat before. It's that you're preparing the food for eating.
There's a specific food that you're making, and this is cooked. You can add water or something, and make it.
Exactly. It's just the way you prepare food for eating.
Another example of that you can think of just.
I mean, he, for example, taking cholent, potatoes, and mashing them together with the liquid of the cholent. You have the liquid potatoes, and you make like a gush out of it, like a. Let's say you want to feed your baby. Take the potatoes, mash it in with the barley, with the whatever, mash it in, mix it in, feed your baby. According to Chazon Ish, it's fine. According to the other opinions, it could be a problem. At the very least, you should do it with the shinoi. At the very least,
The first opinion,
with the shinoi,
Which opinion, Rabbi?
only with the shinoi.
To start with the shinui.
This
and
really
then-
also need a shinoi?
And then continue.
No, if you hold the tikkun oichlim, doesn't need a shinoi.
Where did he get this from? This concept? Chazon Ish?
I mean,
Say,
I could say he got it from Mishnah Berurah, but that doesn't really help, because so what? I mean, the Chazon Ish was like, he lived at the same time as the Mishnah Berurah. What does that help? He was alive, of course.
Maybe he was young.
He was younger.
Kid.
He wasn't a kid.
Okay.
He wasn't a kid. The Mishnah Berurah passed away in the 1930s. Nish, I think, passed away in the 50s, maybe 60s. I don't think so. Definitely not past the 60s.
So you probably get
No, no.
The Berurah and the Chazon Ish get it?
So the Mishnah Berurah got it from, but the problem is 1953, passed away in 1953. Pretty young man, I think. No, 73, 75. That's 75 years.
Which opinion we start with the shinui and then continue with the regular? To mix.
If you're allowed to mix it with the shinui, depending on the opinions, if you're allowed to mix it with the shinui, once you mixed it with the shinui and it's properly mixed in, you could mix it
So
more.
the first opinion.
First opinion, even by blila ava, if it's not by gibel, and the second opinion, blila raka, if it's loose, a loose mixture. But I want to get back to what you were saying.
But you've already mixed before Shabbos. Not already made. So
Yeah, but the pieces of potato are not mashed yet, so you can't say it's mixed. You have a big piece of potato, and you want to serve your baby, so you want to mash the potato into like mush, and then mix it in together with the rotiv of the cholent.
With the baby.
That didn't happen before Shabbos.
Question is now something that's cooked.
That's another question.
So if it's very soft,
If it's very soft, but pastures they say it's not going to be tough. So cholent probably after many hours is probably considered very soft. But I want to point out where the Mishnah Berurah gets it from. So the Mishnah Berurah gets it from, but I must say it's going to be a stretch. I'll tell you why. The Mishnah Berurah gets it from the fact that we said kemach koli, that whole case of shasisa, right? Mishnah Berurah says that is considered bar gibul, and still you're allowed to do it. How is it mutter? How is it mutter? He says it must be that because it's edible, because kemach koli is roasted, right? So therefore, it's not considered a malach because it's roasted. And then he says, plus you're doing mat, so maybe it's derech achila. So here's the problem with saying that. Okay, that's a nice svara Mishnah Berurah comes up with. The problem that is that Mishnah Berurah only allows it with the shinui at the very least of ma'at. You understand? So to apply that to making egg salad would mean you would have to still do it with the shinui. Either a ma'at shinui or a way of mixing shinui, some kind of shinui. That's the problem. Chazon Ish kind of takes that concept and says that b'chlal there's no lisha by something cooked. So it's like a stretch. I don't know. I must admit, I didn't look it up. So I'm not sure.
what is shinui the person has to take to do? It's according to the way he's doing it during the weekdays, or according to what most people do?
I think our Fokash says it goes by most people, what most people do. Most people in this area.
If it's going to do shinui, according to the most people, it's going to be actually the regular ways that they're doing it.
I'm pretty sure that's what he says.
You understand? Like, let's say if,
I understand.
everybody doing it clockwise, what he usually doing.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure that's what he says. Pretty sure. He also says another point, by the way, because if we go back to how you mix it, solid into liquid or liquid into solid, so we said you have to do it the opposite of the normal way. If you're not sure, do the liquid into the solid. But where Fokash points out, if you want to know what the normal way is, look at the packet. Look at the packet, read what it tells you to do, and do the opposite. All right.
And when does ma'at help?
Ma'at is one of the shinuyim that is shinui in the way you mix it. So according to the opinion that you're allowed to do a blila of a ina bar gibel with the shinui, that's one of the shinui. You could do ma'at, you could do shinui in the way you mix it, and so on. And if you want to move that over to blila raka, so that how blila raka you could do that shinui. I mean, there's different shinui you could do in blila raka. You could do that shinui. You could do shinui in the way of mixing.
But that's according to second. That we shouldn't hold them.
Maybe change for mine.
And we mentioned he's every day at 7:55 in Chaim Arvit. Why? We study 8 o'clock here. So don't do Ma'ariv.
I don't have. I could text someone, but that's only one person. You guys daven already? You daven? You didn't daven? Double Levi daven?
No.
So we have 4.
What's the earliest time Chabad can daven Ma'ariv? No, I'm saying it's not.
It's around half hour after Shkia. Depends on the.
Oh, they won't daven before half an hour after Shkia?
Yeah, I mean, it changes a little bit on the season, but approximately.
No, I'm saying that that's the says
Yeah, better. Yeah.
If it's not that says, they won't daven.
Right. Pretty much. Lachatchila, I'm not saying it's.
If they're not going to make a mini with it's preferable to daven after Shkia?
I think so. Not before Shkia, but after Shkia, yeah. Yeah.
What if you daven mincha before? If you daven mincha before plug? Is it l'chatchila to daven after plug?
Only if you do it every day.
That's it.
Yeah, only do it every day. That's not even a chiddush. That's not a Chabad thing.
Starting with that, but you're right. I remember that Ashkenazi being.
Yeah, you shouldn't switch back and forth. You shouldn't switch back and forth. Unless it's for Kabbalah, for Shabbos, to be able to become Shabbos.
If we do our read before Tzedek Kochavim, the Kiddush Shema Yisrael before you go to sleep, and it's covered, right?
Yeah,
So,
you could.
So what's the big deal?
יש עדיפות. בכל זאת יש עדיפות.
אבל או יחיד כל פעם עושים את זה. עכשיו הוא עושה יחיד. So what's better? שמע ישראל הוא יחיד.
What's better is to learn all the Shabbos, because that's what we're learning right now.
It's better than בזמן. לא בזמן.
The Tzemach Tzedek says that, but I think he's talking about before Shkia. I don't think he's talking about before Tzeis. Could be. I have to look it up on the Tzemach Tzedek. Tzemach Tzedek definitely has a piece about it. I have to look it up. Okay. What am I saying?
We were talking about the different why. I asked you why is.
What does the Shina help for?
And then the Rav explained that that's just one of the Shinuyim, even about the second opinion.
Yeah.
And then I said.
Second opinion says, let's go over the second opinion. Second opinion says, 2 points of the second opinion. You know what? We're talking so much about the second opinion. Let's learn it. How about that? Let's continue in the Mechaber and actually get to the second opinion. Tezayim. Shachalayim.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
I didn't understand this. What's the hardal and what's the allowance and what's when I'm not do it hard, only soft. What's the problem? What kind of hardal is this? Hardal is like a mustard seed.
Chadal is a mustard seed, and it seems that it's like a dip that they made out of mustard together with other things. So you're allowed to add liquid to it on Shabbos and mix it with a shinui.
Add liquid to the dip that was already made.
The dip is already made.
So it's a mustard dip. Let's say our mustard nowadays. You have mustard.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to add water to that mustard to
Right. I mean, he's talking about dvash, but yeah, water, whatever.
versus water.
From this safe, we can make the plan that.
Yeah. Anything, yeah.
Can we make the rule that even so, we're saying there's no lisha after lisha. If you need to do lisha after lisha, you should do the mathematics of the logical. If you want to add stuff to it. You can just, because there's no chapter, you can just break the rules and just do it. And can you, from this, you can be massive kind of, but even so, you want to, there's no lisha after lisha, but if you want to add something to it, you should do the logical.
אני לא יודע אם זה נכון.
I'm asking.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because over here.
Because if I'm allowed to add the water already to the text, so there's no enough lisha, why I have to be not the craft with the meat? If I'm not afraid about lisha, what is care about the going to do the meat below the craft? If there's chashash lisha, so don't do it at all.
כן התבטאו על בית יוסף, ובדרך רש נכנס בכף. גם כן נכנס בכף אחד טרום תמוך. כמו כן היה שיט, שהביא גם כל כך דבריו, וחלקה, זה כתביים, אין לו שבת צבאי בימיו. זה נראה שזו. כמעט זה באמת לעשות היה זה שהגיע. Read the
Which one?
You know what? Maybe I think that's in what was not to maybe we can see it as Lila Ava. Like I say, עבר גיבול אבא עשו בכל העניין משום רעש, אז אם כן נתן המשק כבר בעוד יום. אז מותר לגבל בשבת, מעט לאט, בין ביטל לבין בקשנה. So maybe it's considered as a גיבול אב. So this one...
It is גיבול אב, sure.
So this one basically what I said you have to do מעט לאט according to the second opinion.
So this is the first opinion. This is the first opinion, it's not the second opinion, it's the first opinion.
But according to over here, Dr. Rabbi is talking about the second opinion, no? In the end of the
In the end he is, yeah.
אבל הוא אומר, עבד בגיבול אבא אסור בכל העניין, משום רעש. אלא אם כן נתן אמר שכבר בעוד יום, according exactly to this case, אז מותר לגבל בשבת מעט.
Right.
So basically this one is more refers to the second opinion. So this why they want to do slowly because we consider the gibul ab. Yeah, is that right? Not really.
He discusses. I think he discusses this question in the Berlach. That this whole Berlach is on his question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
וכאלה צריך עיון גדול בזה, איך יתירו חז"ל עצם הגיבול באיסור דאורייתא.
Yeah, he discusses it, yeah. Okay. Well, what you're saying is something else. What you said from the altar was something else. There he's talking about, according to the second opinion, if you put the liquid in before Shabbos,
Like in this case, they did it before, no?
if you put in the liquid before Shabbos, in this case, it doesn't say you did it. Where does it say you did it?
Yeah, it's like, it means that you have the texture before.
It doesn't say you didn't put in any liquid before Shabbos, but Pashtos here.
Does it make a difference? One liquid or...
It says, yeah, the Pri Megadim says it's own liquid, but you didn't put in any liquid from the outside. That's what Pashtos.
But the point that it was a texture before Shabbos.
So I'm just saying, in terms of what you said, the point there is that according to the second opinion, it says that the Isser is as soon as you put it in, even before you mix it. Nevertheless, you have to mix it with the shinoi. So he's talking about if you added the water before Shabbos or the liquid before Shabbos, and what's left for you to do on Shabbos is the mixing. So the mixing should be done with the shinoi, because you never did the full lisha before Shabbos. The full lisha.
We're talking about a word is like just putting they said the flour and the water and they didn't mix it.
Exactly.
And it was still like
No.
There's no texture.
It was. I mean, it's not like it stayed separate. It got absorbed, but it was never fully mixed. So because it's still an aspect of Lisha, and you never did it, when do we say Ein Lisha Chalisha? If, let's say, you would have already mixed it before Shabbos, and you want to mix it more, then there's no Ma'at. Then it's already Ein Lisha Chalisha. Talking about when you added the water, and it spread, but it was never mixed. So now you're mixing it the first time. That's still part of the malacha of Lisha. You have to do a Ma'at. That's what he's saying there. That's what he's saying there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, the Bir halacha is a hard Bir halacha.
I get what you're saying at the beginning. I mean, I'm not asking you to read everything, but.
Let's continue. Shachalayim. Pure shachalayim ba'aravi takal l'shar v'laz krishin. Shachalayim is basically a type of vegetable called cress. Shadochan me'er Shabbos, that he crushed them from before Shabbos. The mocher, the next day, noisen yayin v'chometz. He's allowed to add wine and vinegar. Lo yitruf, and he should not stir it, like beat it. The normal way to mix it was to beat it like yitruf, like the eggs, stirring it, beating it, exactly. Rather, elamarav, you mix it like gently. That's the shinui. You do it gently.
Basically, it's like
The shinui, you have to do with the shinui. You have to do with the shinui. But it's enough of a shinui to do it gently. So too garlic that you crushed before Shabbos. And the next day you can add beans. And you cannot mix it with koyach, but only gently. Now the Ramah adds, some say that that's not enough of a shinui to do it gently. You must also do it by hand instead of with a spoon. Or the Achrayim point out, it doesn't have to be that shinui. It could be the other shinuim that he mentions in other places. Like, for example, with the crisscross, he mentions in Shulchan Daled, pouring from kli to kli, he mentions in Shulchan Daled, and so on. So, or be'etzba, he also mentions, by the way, later on in this seif. Okay, Rabbi Sai.
Crush garlic from one night to the other.
Yes, Omrim, that if you mixed it already with some other food.
Yeah, but over here it doesn't say.
Okay, so say that you did. Say that you did. Okay, Rabbi Sai. According to the first opinion, which is everything we've been learning up until now in the Mechaber, he never mentioned second opinion. According to the Mechaber, until now, what is the heter that you have to do this?
Shinui.
You have shachalayim, let's say, cress. You crushed it before Shabbos, fine and good. The next day, you're adding liquid, and you're mixing it with a small little shinui, with slowly instead of with koyach. What kind of heter is that? I mean, you're doing lisha, the eraisa, with a small little shinui. He doesn't say it has to be a bli raka. It's not talking about a bli raka. It's talking about a bli la'ava. What's the heter, my friends?
The day before.
Actually, it's not bar gibel. It's shachal.
We have to say it's not bar gibel. It's just not bar gibel. And the first opinion says not bar gibel is only the rabbanon. So it's a double the rabbanon. It's a rabbanon with a shinui. And it's tzarech achila, so the chachamim will make it.
Like the keli.
I'm sorry? Like the koli, exactly. Okay. Now we come to the second opinion. Some say the heter to mix liquid in the mustard. And the same thing goes for shachalayim. And the same thing goes for the kamach koli, by the way. Because this opinion does not hold of any difference between gibel and not bar gibel. The only heter to do it is davka shenasanim ba'od yoim, only if you put it from before Shabbos. B'Shabbos also losses mashka b'chana b'shumay aktusha mishum lash. On Shabbos, you're not allowed to add any of these liquids because of lush. The noisin, it's the adds the Ramah. And noisen oichel tchila v'achar kach choy metzayin ba'av betz boy shari. Tahavi shinui moiber sisin leil. The Ramos says, if you add them with the shinui, if you mix it with the shinui, meaning to say you do it either liquid, solid, liquid, opposite of the normal way, plus you mix it with the shinui, you add one to the other with the shinui, plus you mix it with the shinui, then it's mutter even according to the second opinion.
So the Ramon here doesn't find it like Abba, we're talking about just which Blila is talking about. All this simon, what is refers to Blila Abba or Blila Daka?
The Ramah is talking about Blila Raka. Look in the Mishnah Berurah. You have Mishnah Berurah there? Look at Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says, Samach Vav. The Dafka Blila Ava. Our Blila Raka Leshach was Elisha. Mekomokum Tzach Sheas Hashin Berurah Baga. And Nishit Mechot Chil Vachak Chamashke V'chein Kasra Achronim. Ta'ago Mayri Dafka Blila Raka. Ulezeh Sian Kamei B'Sisa. The Shom Hetir Dafka Braka Uchanal. Also in Chiluk Ben Loisa Surah Loisa Acharas. Exactly. Okay, my friends.
When are we?
So to make Blila Daka, it's going to be the only way to do it Daka. It's only if you're going to put first the salad, then you can add the big amounts of liquid.
Exactly. Or vice versa. The opposite of the normal way. The opposite of the normal way. Mixing. In other words, the first opinion just said that when you do a Blila Raka, you have to mix it in the opposite way. He didn't say to also mix it the opposite way. He just said when you pour it, because that opinion.
Because it's actually considered Lisha by adding the two ingredients together, by adding the water. It's considered Lisha according to the second opinion. But they're not mixing it. It's considered Lisha of it.
I'm actually not sure.
This is what I said. According to the second opinion, by adding the water, it's already considered Lisha.
Yeah, but he's making you do another shinu. Why? The way you mix it. Why?
Because it's going to be Blila Daka.
I understand, but if the main thing is the mixing, why is the adding? Why do you also have to make a shinu the way you mix it?
I said, אסור לתת המשקה בשבת אפילו בשינוי בדרך החול, אלא אם כן הוא גיבול רך, שאז מותר לתת בשינוי. So this is according to the second opinion, because the only is they allow you to do only Blila Raka, and the only way to do it is going to be Bishino. If you're already doing Blila, it's have to be Raka, it has to be Bishino, according to the second opinion also.
I just don't understand why the second opinion makes you mix it with the shino. Why?
Why? I just read out the Rebbe.
Why though? Where did you read the Alter Rebbe? Where?
I just that's the last line of the page. Samachvav. I saw that in one before. שאסור לתת בהם משקה בשבת שיהיו בשינוי מדרך החול.
אלא אם כן.
אלא אם כן הוא גיבול רע. שאסור לתת בשינוי.
Okay, but that's the shino in the way you mix it, not in the way you add it.
The way you're giving it, the way you mixing it. דהיינו לתת ראשית התחילה ואחר כך החומץ. Not about the mixing, but adding it.
I'm saying, but why? But he doesn't say you have to do a shino in the way you mix it, just in the way you add it.
Because they're holding it, the whole Isha is by putting it together.
I understand, but so why is the Ramah telling you to mix it also with the shinui?
Because it's Blila Raka. You want to finish it.
If the second opinion says that the lisha is by adding it. So as long as you do a shino by adding, why do you have to do a shino by mixing?
What is Hemshech Melacha?
Why is he even stricter than the first opinion? First opinion mentioned it. Now, Dafka, when he is the one that says the main thing is the adding, he's the one that's machmer by the mixing. Ipchum Mistabra. I need some help here. Need some Sian to Dishmaya.
Maybe the Rama holding that is Bila Rava.
No, the Mishnah Berurah is clear. Raka. Okay, I have to figure this out. I don't know the pshat, why the second opinion says you need to do a shinu with mixing. Okay, I just want to come to some kind of conclusion, despite the fact that I feel I do not have a handle on Melachas Lisha, I must admit.
I was actually going to say I'm very excited that I have another week in between before next week's studies.
I think we're going to have to do another class on Lisha because I feel like I need to. Anyway, Lemaisa, let's just make a kind of sikum, even though it's not, a few things are not clear. I'd like to, but I have to have it clear in my head before I can make notes. I mean, the Rav Farkash has a very nice sikum lahalacha on Lisha, but he doesn't give you the underpinnings. He doesn't give you the svaras, you know what I'm saying? He just gives you the halacha. But to understand where it comes from, that I still have to figure out. So, sorry?
I have a good say for the Orla Halacha. He brings down the Gemaras.
Oh yeah?
And then the Sikum Rishonim.
I was looking for a sefer like that. I wonder if I have it in my. It's a new sefer. When is it from?
So maybe he's talking about the first opinion.
Or lehalacha. Okay, so here's the sikum of what we have so far. According to the first opinion, there seems to be the main halacha. Why am I saying it's the main halacha, by the way? Wait, I have this in. Why am I saying it's the main halacha when the Mechaber brought two opinions? How do we know which is the main halacha? So and on the contrary, the Ramah said, v'chein noyagim, about the second opinion. V'chein noyagim l'hatar al deishinu. It's mashma only al deishinu. So why am I saying it's the main halacha? Oh, so the Mishnah Berurah brings from the Taz that even though we're machmir, talking about Ashkenazim, we're machmir, like the second opinion, nevertheless, if you have no choice, meaning to say you have guests and you want to serve them a particular dish which you didn't make before Shabbos, you could be makel like the first opinion. Basically, that means that it's the main halacha, right? If it wouldn't be the main halacha, then you wouldn't be allowed to be makel. Or halacha. Who's the author? I have 4 or halachas here.
It's on Talmud Halacha Shabbos.
Okay, my thing is not connected for some reason. Okay, I'll find it there. Okay, so the main, according to the first opinion, which is the main halacha, you could even do a blila ava if it's not bar gibel, as long as you do it as you mix it with the shinui. Mix it with the shinui, you need to say in either small amounts, or crisscross, or by hand, or mekeli al keli.
That's what?
That's if it's a Eina bar gibel, if it doesn't mix together properly, and you're doing a blila ava, you can still do it if you mix it with the shinu, like we said.
Like exile.
Like exile would be an example of that, correct? That's mutter according to the first opinion with the shinu. Now, according to the second opinion, the only
That would
heter,
also be with thick rice cereal.
rice cereal could be a belila, could be a bar gibel. I think it's a bar gibel. I don't think there's any heter to make a thick rice cereal. I think you always have to make a rice cereal.
Okay,
Thin rice cereal,
if
according to
it's,
all opinions.
If it does combine.
Exactly. Rice cereal you have to make thin according to all opinions. And when you make it thin, so now you should make it with two shinuyim. A, in the way you mix it, add one to the other in the opposite of the normal way.
So nowadays you put water in that new thing.
I don't know.
Saying I think tell me what's normal. I think normal people put the thing in and they add water.
Probably.
To do the opposite.
It would seem.
Give two options.
It would seem. Yep. It would seem.
And then
another shinui in the way you mix it, even though it's a blilava, mix it either stirring it like this. I forgot to mention before, just stir it in the cup, or crisscross, or with your finger, or mikeli alkeli.
What about the back of the spoon?
We didn't say that. We didn't say that. I don't think so, because that's not such a shinui. No, it's not a big shinui. On the
The
contrary,
back of the spoon is like the spoon.
it's exactly you just do
It's a
it.
smaller spoon.
Yeah, I mean it's just, the mixing motion is the same. It's just front forward to backward. That's not a
It's
shinui.
definitely a shinui. I mean,
Very
your
small
finger
shinui.
also does the same motion as the. If I do two fingers like this,
Yeah, but it's your finger. Normal people, they use the finger.
normal people don't use the back of the spoon. Normal people don't use the back of a spoon.
Big deal.
I haven't
Back
used
is
the
a
back
big
of the
deal.
spoon in my life.
But the back of the spoon is stirring when the front is stirring.
Exactly. It's just
So
a
you're just
question of
turning it
different
around.
direction.
You take a spoon, you're stirring.
You're stirring it
The back
frontwards,
is doing work at the
backwards.
same time.
What's the difference?
So if you turned it, if you rotated it 180 degrees, it's still doing the same thing.
You're either holding it one way or the other way. You're just holding it differently, but it's doing the same motion. It's accomplishing the same thing.
utensil.
So is my finger.
Fingers are
Yeah, but your
different.
finger is not a normal thing.
So a knife.
That Rav Moshe
A
says.
fork.
That Rav Moshe says. A fork, I don't know. I don't know if a fork is different or not.
A knife.
But a knife, I think Rav Moshe says a knife is a shin for things that you don't normally do with your knife. So that's what we have here. And in addition to all of this, another heter that we have based on Chazon Ish, which we can rely on at least to excuse those that don't go through all of this, is that something that is cooked, perhaps all of this doesn't apply, and perhaps it's considered just the way to prepare food. So maybe a person who makes egg salad, even if he doesn't do it with a shinui, we don't have to scream at him. Exactly.
You definitely don't have to say anything because of the resource.
Correct.
Any type of lila. Why doesn't? Oh, right. We didn't know why he doesn't go like.
Who?
Why doesn't the Chazon Ish go like one of these two opinions? Where does
He get the chiddush from? So that's the question. I mean, the Mishnah Berurah says the concept, but in the context, he still insists on a shinui because the kamach kol you have to do ma'at.
So he agrees that if something that's cooked already is not bargaining. It doesn't involve lisha.
To the extent, yeah, in the Bir Halacha. But he
To the extent that you need a
he doesn't say it as a klal. He doesn't say it as a klal. If it's cooked, it's no problem. Here's what he says. Why is kamach koli mutter? It is bar gibel, he says. So what's the heter? Ma'at to do a melacha d'oraisa. What's going on here? He says, well, first of all, it's cooked, and maybe it doesn't apply if it's cooked. Second of all, because you're doing ma'at, so maybe it's derech achila. And that's where he says. In other words, he's saying it as a pshat in the halacha. He's not saying it as a klal. And even so, in the context, it's only mutter ma'at. So it's hard to use that in a way that allows it without that shin. So we still have a lot to figure out, and hopefully for next week.
They're allowed to do it even Arveh de la Daka. What's the second thing? De la Daka, they're allowed to do Arveh.
Yeah.
And first opinion, didn't say anything like that.
First opinion was machalik between shasisa and regular kamach koli. Regular kamach koli not to do a lot because you may come to do a small amount. Not to do a lot because you may come to do it with belila ava. And the second opinion, I don't think is machalik between that. Why not? I don't know why not. I don't know why not. Till 11:43. You have 1 hour and 39
You still
minutes.
look at Levan's time?
Yeah, till 11:43. I looked it up.
Oh, wow. Very nice. You have Levan's time?
That's what that's what it's called.
Okay, Levan's time?
It was in rain, and where I was, it was raining. The same way we see her. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to write it down now before I forget.
Yeah. I have a question if possible.
Yeah.
I'm learning Maseches Makos.
Yeah.
And it says on the Talmud that if a person takes a chavit of yain, a chavit of wine, of mime or yain, and dumps it,
This is for April, yeah? No. Do I have you for April?
you said May. You said April and May.
So this is for April, yeah?
I think that's what we said last time. But unless you have that, was like 80 for April.
I don't have you now. Now I have you down for April.
April and May. April and May.
Oh, this 200?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out.
So the Gemara says that if someone poured a chavit of yain or wine into the Yama Gadol, it says because it's still. Actually, the Gemara says because it's still. And then someone was toivel there because he was tameh. Rashi writes that he received a new type of rabbinic tuma, that he can't eat truma now because he was toivel in shloisha lugim mayim. So a person, it's one of the 18 gzeros of Chazal. That's on Daf Yud Gimel.
Not yain, though. Mime, you know.
Right, let's say mime. It's right, mime, only mime. So shloisha lugim mayim shenafol l'toch yama gadol. A person was toivel in that spot. Lo al talo tefila, and he actually whatever. Lo al talo tefila. Al talo tefila, really.
That was good night, everybody.